Hi YouTube! We are here to tell you how to make it to Erasmus Mundus. Woohoo! Let's go!
Hi YouTube! My name is Amarnath. I go by Ash, and this is my first YouTube video. I recently got into Erasmus Mundus scholarship for Neurodata program, and I thought it might be nice to make a video. So today we're going to play a game in which there'll be like 14 questions inside this bowl, and yeah, one person will be asking me 2 questions, and then we'll move around, have fun with questions, and that should be it. And yeah, so you wanted me to introduce myself, right? Alright, so yeah, like I said, my name is Amarnath. I go by Ash, and currently I'm a Young India Fellow at Ashoka University, and for the next 2 years I'll be going to Bardhan University, University of Lisbon, and also University in Croatia as well. And yeah, that's a little bit about me. And I also have an organization called Skillseta, in which I teach and do research with students and also mentor them in the same space as well. Simultaneously, I also help them study abroad in US, UK, and Europe as well, and also Canada. So far, I think I helped over 50 students study abroad, and yeah, I'm hoping to help more students get out there and do whatever they feel like doing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Should we go for the next person? Yeah. All right. Hi!
Congratulations!
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a question for Ash, and the question is, what's one piece of advice you would pass on to anyone applying next year based on what you just went through? Here's the question.
I mean, one thing is to keep the confidence up, because I also noticed that when I was going through a lot of applications in the past, I wasn't really confident. But once you get that interview, you have to be really confident, because without which you wouldn't be able to tell them that you're really serious about this and how prepared you are. So it's all about preparation, and obviously there'll be a lot of points where you're like, I don't think I'm fit for this, or I don't want to continue with this thing. But it's about keeping the confidence. That also means taking a lot of breaks, getting out there, go talk to your friends and your family, and just boost up your confidence as much as possible. And don't give up, and don't self-reject. I think that's the main thing that I want to tell people. Never self-reject, because that is something I don't do. Thank God I don't do that. Whatever application that comes on my way, I just do it, because if I don't get, I just don't get. The one good thing I can take away from any kinds of applications, even if I don't get in, is that I'm going to be writing some kind of piece for it, right? So I'll be saving that piece, which can be used for different applications. So for Erasmus Mundus, I didn't really have to write like a full-on essay from scratch, because I already had my previous master's application. So I was able to like take bits and pieces from there. And so yeah, never self-reject and keep applying. Even if you fail, that's totally fine, because failure will give you something. What it gave me was, it gave me a lot of good essays that I can build upon. So yeah, never self-reject, and then just keep on going.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So the second question, this is interesting. Can you take us back to the exact moment you found out you had been selected for EMJM scholarship? Where were you? What was going through your mind, and how did it feel?
That's a very lengthy question. So where was I? I was actually on my bed in my room, just chilling. I got back from this trip as part of the ELM project. We went to this Kedarkanta mountain for like, and we stayed there for like 5 days, 8 hours up, 8 hours down, hiking and all. So I was very tired. Then right after coming back, I went to Jaipur for 2 days. And that was, well, it's very hot, right? And so it was very hectic. And then I came back here. I slept overnight. I woke up and Sahil was like, let's go out and eat today. Because like, why not? Before the classes begin, we just need to sort of chill. And I was like, oh, I don't want to go. But at the same time, I wanted to go out and eat. And before stepping out of the room, before stepping out of the bed, I just opened my phone and I saw Neurodata, I think they said Neurodata selected or congratulations or something. I was like, Sahil, wait. I was like, Sahil, wait. And then I read it, I was like, oh my God, is it true? Is it true? And then I opened it, it was like, I got selected. And I got the full scholarship. I was like, so surprised. And I was like, Sahil, wait, come back, come back. So he came back and I showed him the phone. Can you read this for me? I was like, he read it and it was like, yes, you got selected. And he hugged me. I was like, I was just over the moon. I was just so happy to know that I got selected, because the interview, Interview was, it wasn't tough. It was just sucky on so many levels, which I'll talk about another time. But yeah, it was really bad. And so I thought I wouldn't get in, but then to know you got Erasmus Mundus and that too on a full scholarship, it's the best news I heard after that hectic week I had. And in my mind, it was just like, oh my God, what's next? What am I supposed to do? But somewhere in there, I was really glad, not just because I got the scholarship, but I was also like, now I don't have to take a job that I don't like or a job that I really don't want to do at this point in my life. And I was also really glad to know that I can continue my skill setup because there's no legal restriction now. Now that I'm free and I can study for like 2 more years, I can continue skill setup and help a lot more people along the way, and then just do what I like, do research, do this, that, and just have fun.
Let me select this. Oh, good one. How did you prepare your CV for the application?
CV. That's an easy question though, because I have something called a master resume. So on a Word document, I have put down pretty much everything that I've done since like I think grade 11 or 12, and I put down where I studied, what projects I've done, whether it be like mini school project or it's like it's an assignment or a paid or unpaid research job or other things. I put down every single thing there. It's like 6 7 pages long. And so when it comes to preparing CV for a particular application, what I usually do is just go through that and then see what's relevant, what actually adds on to it. So for Erasmus Mundus, I think the limit was 2 pages. There's no particular limit per se,
Yeah.
but you should tend to follow like 2 max pages, or if you really have a lot of things to say, then maybe like 3 pages. But I kept it under 2 pages. And I also used Perplexity because I asked Perplexity like what's
Yeah.
actually going to add
Impact.
on as a value when it comes to this application. Sometimes the CV is also about expanding on things that you might not have had the chance to in your application in the form of essay. So you have to also consider that and then be like, okay, this part I can have one more bullet because there's no other space where I can talk about it. So you also have to consider that and then work around it. So try to keep it to like, let's say 2 3 bullets at max per section, and then keep everything to relevant experiences. So try not to incorporate too many things that's not necessarily adding value to it. However, that doesn't mean you get to only talk about specific thing. For example, when I applied for neuro data program, it's like neuroscience and data science, right? And so it's not that I only have to talk about neuroscience or data science. I can also talk about other stuff, but it just have to be valuable to whatever I'm applying for. And so, yeah, just have a master resume, and that'll be really helpful.
All right. How did you balance showing off achievements versus showing authenticity and growth?
I feel like the answer lies in the authenticity and the growth part, because when it comes to my application for Erasmus Mundus, I was only asked to write motivation letter. It also had like two other generic questions, but no SOP, but it might be required for other applications as well. And so one hard thing to do here is when you start describing what you've done in the past. For example, I have done 8 research projects before coming to Ashoka, and at Ashoka, I've been working on a project remotely, on a frugal science project on a heart health kit with Stanford University, and I published 2 papers. So when I started writing all these things down, it felt like I was trying to brag. And when people read it, it was also like I'm just bragging at this point. So the right thing to do is just write them all down and then color code it, like green, yellow, and red is what I usually do. So green is for something that is absolutely crucial to the essay, so that like without
Right.
which it would feel like the essay is meaningless. And so such parts would be in green, and then yellow is something that could be removed if there is like a space issue, like word count issue. But red is something that is not necessarily required as part of the essay, which is something really hard to color code. But you can also ask your friends and or your professors and other people that you're comfortable with and ask them to color code it and or remove it as well. And so when I started writing, yeah, exactly. So we get 2 opinions. And so when I started writing, I think it was around 2000 words, but the motivation letter word limit was only 1000. So it was really hard to cut it down. But again, when you start answering, you need to know that your achievements are already present in your CV because it's also
Yeah.
part of your application. And you also have other spaces where you can talk about certain aspects of it, like other essays they might ask you to write, or even SOP if it's part of the application. So it's about understanding where what fits. So if I have like 5 different things that I really want them to know about me, then I need to know where to put those 5 experiences. If I put them all in just one piece of writing, they're not going to get it, and you're not going to be able to go in deep and answer why that's relevant to you, why you did that project, or what was the growth that you had. And yeah, you won't be able to answer any of these things because you're focusing on too many things. So it's also about understanding what is exactly being asked, and then what would sort of stand out, or like what would be very well relatable to the application that you're doing. So I have asked my friends, and then with their help I was able to figure out what I need to focus a lot more on and what can be removed completely. So I feel like that part gave a lot of growth aspect. Like I was able to
Holistic answer.
exactly, and the authenticity part was just there. And try not to use like AI to like write your essays. For brainstorming, of course, do that. You can also ask your like any personal AI like ChatGPT or Perplexity to like just ask it to read and be like what's not necessary. I've also done that, and it was really helpful. So I feel like yeah, authenticity is just about writing everything down and then cutting down unnecessary part and then delving deep into what's actually relevant and important. Hi. Okay, let's get started.
All right. Firstly, did you use any study abroad consultancies? If so, which one?
Consultancy. Actually, no. Mainly because I have my own consultancy called Skillseta, and I've been working as part of that since 2022, I believe. And so, yeah, I haven't used any other external services. I just started Google searching on my own and then started preparing based on, well, every other applications that I've done in the past. So, yeah, no. So, but if you'd like to use one, use Skillseta. Okay, so let's go for the second question.
All right. So I wanted to ask you this. There are so many programs in Erasmus Mundus, right?
Yeah.
So how did you find the Neura Data program?
Yeah, so Erasmus Mundus has like a ton of programs out there, and so it's really hard to choose the one you want. So what I did was I just went through the entire list based on what I want to do and what I like, which is neuroscience and data science and like basically so like a biomedical aspect of things. And so I did a shortlisting based on that, and then I just went through in every single thing individually, like the program schedule, and then I found the one that really fits me. There was only 3 programs that actually fit what I wanted to do. So yeah, so if you're looking for Erasmus Mundus program, then you should definitely go through the list, like which is a very extensive list. Go through it, find the one that's a perfect fit for you, what works best for you, and then just go for it. But there's too many things out there.
Hi, YouTube.
Should we get started?
Yeah, let's go. Whoa. What was the exact moment you decided to apply for Erasmus Mundus?
What was the exact moment? I actually didn't know what Erasmus Mundus was, and so I wasn't preparing for it. The exact moment was when my friends were applying for Erasmus Mundus for their like sort of artistic side of applications and all, and they told me this is something you can also apply. Since I did my undergraduate degree in the US, I'm not eligible for most of the scholarships in India, and also because I haven't completed my 2-year residency in India, which is also a requirement for many programs out there. And so I gave up on applications, but then they said no, Erasmus doesn't have such requirements, and I was like, okay, maybe I can take a look. So I just took a look, and I went through the shortlisting process, and I came across it. So there was no particular moment per se that really drew me here. It was just my friends who told me about this program, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Oh,
Go ahead.
whoa. What was your biggest surprise during the application process?
Biggest surprise was that when I did my undergraduate and a master's applications in the US, we usually had the opportunity to write our own SOPs, like 1,000 words or 1,500. We also had like research statement, personal statement, other components where you can talk about different kinds of things that you want to talk to them. But as part of Erasmus Mundus, I mean specifically my program, which is Neurodata, I think the word limit was 1,000 motivation letter, and that's it. There were two other mini essays to understand my profile, such as what I'm doing right now and so and so. But yeah, I was really hoping for like statement of purpose or something similar, and I applied for two Erasmus Mundus, and for the other program, I didn't get selected for that one, but for that program, the word limit was 500, I believe. So it's very less. So that was something really surprising for me to see, to know that there's only motivation letter. But for other programs, like different kinds of requirements, whether it be video submissions or like portfolio submission and so and so. But I think it was just the essay word limit, which was surprising. I was hoping for more, but yeah, that was surprising.
And you make it.
Yes, I made it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Should we get started?
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead.
If the Erasmus Mundus application felt like a movie, what genre would it be?
Good question. Now give me the mic. We only have one mic. Okay, movie. I don't really watch a lot of movies, so it's a difficult one. But I'm going to say Wonder Woman, but I don't want to say why yet.
How was your Erasmus Mundus interview? How did you prepare? And what is your advice to all the future applicants?
I'll first answer. What's your no? How did you prepare? So my preparation was that I first reached out to the current scholars who are part of Neodata program, which is what I got shortlisted for an interview for, and I asked them what are the potential questions they might ask, what did they ask you, how should I prepare, and the one thing they all told me in common was that I need to memorize my entire profile because they could be asking things I had done 10 years back or like something on the high school or literally anything on the CV or other parts of applications such as your essays. And so I first memorized the whole thing. And the other thing that I did as part of preparation was doing mock interviews with friends and with the postgraduate studies at Ashoka and a couple other people. And so that was really beneficial because I needed to run through my ideas and make it a bit more conversational. So that's how I sort of prepared. And in terms of how my interview went, uh, think of all the bad things that could happen to a person. Everything happened to me.
And
So
Wi-Fi would be one of them. for sure.
absolutely, absolutely. Wi-Fi was the very first issue, but to tackle that, I actually reached out to a lot of people, like the offices, departments, and found a perfect room.
Yeah.
But still, it
then-
had issues. Yeah, so I started. The Wi-Fi was not working, so I think I spent like a minute or two just wasting it out because I was trying to figure it out. And one more thing, you need to know that this interview is like only 10 to 15 minutes long at max, and to lose like a minute or two in there, it's way too much. And so, but somehow I figured it out. And then when we started talking, when the interview just started out, 15 seconds since, the earbud stopped working.
Oh my god.
It was fully charged, everything was perfect, but it stopped working. And so I turned it off, and then I used the laptop speaker, which was not very clear. Like I was not able to hear him properly. So I just blindly answered the questions, hoping that I heard the question right. Because you can't ask him to repeat the questions like 5 times in a row. Although I did ask him like twice or thrice to repeat, because what else can I do? I just have to do whatever it is that I'm supposed to do, so I don't have any regrets. But yeah, so everything went wrong, but at the same time, I think my responses were also comprehensive in nature, and I feel like I at least answered whatever I was supposed to do. So yeah, that part went well. So I would say, in terms of the last part of the question, what's your advice to the future applicants, would be that don't give up, because things could and will go wrong, because nothing is in our hands, right? For me, it was the interview. For others, it could be during the application process, or something might else come up, or yeah, anything could go wrong. But don't lose your confidence, and if something really bothers you or affects you, I would say take a break if possible, and then get started right back on track. And if it's in the middle of an interview, then don't stop, then just keep continuing. And if the interview goes wrong, just like it did for me, then you can always ask them for rescheduling the interview and or appeal. So don't give up. Hi.
Hello, hello.
Should we get started?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So it says, how early did you start preparing, and what timeline would you recommend now that you have gone through it?
Yes. How early did I start? I think I started like 1.5 week or like 2 weeks before submission.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Because I actually knew about the program, I think 2 to 3 weeks back, but I did not prepare my application. I was just being lazy and all. So I actually started writing my essays and all 1.5 week before, and that's how I did it. So in terms of recommendation, I hope that if you're considering, you should consider like starting up early so that you have enough time to go back and forth and then rewrite your essays or edit as needed, or if you have any missing documents or something, you need ample time to fix that part. So I would say, yeah, start early, but I started little too late, but yeah, it worked out. I hope that answers your question.
This one says, was there a point where you thought I might not make it? How do you push past that doubt?
I would say every step of the way, when it came to this application, I did not think that I would make it because, well, like I said, I started off too late, and so I thought I might not be able to finish the application on time. I think the hardest part was for me to get the recommendation letters from my professors because they're in the US, and one of them, Professor Fleming, he actually had a family emergency, so he was not able to, like get me the recommendation letter on time per se, but he still somehow made it. He made time for me, so I think that's the only thing that I really had to wait long for. But and so at that point, I thought I might not make it, and then so a different interview asked me this question regarding how my interview went. So during the interview process, I did not think I would make it because I was very sure that I'm getting rejected because electricity went off, the Wi-Fi was not working, a speaker stopped working, earbuds stopped working, and so I thought I would not make it because the interview is only like 15 minutes at max, and it also ended a little early, like 4 minutes, 3 minutes early, and I wasted 2 minutes just trying to figure out the technicalities. So I thought I wouldn't make it, and so these are the major 2 points where I thought I wouldn't make it, but somehow I did. And but yeah, along the way, the stress and the academic life at YF as well, it takes up a lot of your energy and your focus. And I had working on ELM project as well. So when I was focused on too many things, it was really difficult for me to believe in myself and then keep on going. But I took a lot of breaks as necessary, and I think that helped me a little bit with sort of yeah, I think that helped me a little bit. That gave me some hope.
In the little time that you had, you took breaks also.
Exactly. Yeah.
One question I had about the interview actually.
Yeah.
So you said that it was just 15 minutes that the interview lasted. Was it an automated interview that like a AI bot or something was taking your interview, or was it like actually people?
He was an actual person, and thank God it was an actual person. If it was an AI, after 2 minutes or something, it would have given up. But this person was really nice, and he understood the technical difficulties that I had, and yeah, he was very helpful, and it's a good thing that he was my interviewer. Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, say hi to YouTube.
Hi.
Hi.
He's the cameraman, and this is going to be the last two questions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be
So
the
the last remaining two questions are going now.
okay.
So
Should we get started?
yeah, yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yes. Oh God. Okay.
Uh,
So the first question is, how did you go about finding professors or mentors for recommendation letters?
Good question.
Yeah.
Show it to the camera.
Yes, this is the question.
One thing I want to start off with saying is that recommendation letter is the second most important thing of your application, because the first one is obviously the essay part that you have to write. Second, I would say is the LOR. Third is CV. So recommendation is really important. And so what I did was I first understood the kind of program I'm applying for, and I looked into the kind of research projects and other things that I have done in the past. And I reached out to exactly two professors, to be honest, because there was only two LOR requests, right, as part of this application. And so I requested both of my professors with whom I worked in the past, and I just asked them for recommendation letters, and both of them said yes immediately because they wanted me to do higher studies and do more research and publish more. And so they both said yes. And but however, like I mentioned before with the other viewers, that with one professor, Professor Fleming, he had a personal emergency as well. So that sort of delayed the process a little bit. But I'm just so grateful for him, because even in the midst of every chaos and unfortunate situations that he was going through, he still made a lot of time for me in writing this recommendation letter. And in that letter, when I read, by the way, you can read the recommendation letters they send it, because you have to upload it yourself, right? So I read it, of course, and in there he said, I'm a colleague. So usually professors refer to you as a student I mentored, or like something of that nature. But this Professor Fleming, like, he said I'm a colleague of his, and he also told me in person when I was there as well that he's really proud of me because he sees me as a colleague of his, and that he wants to learn from me, vice versa. So that's been really great. So yeah, so it's recommendation letters. You need to trust the person that you are requesting from. Make sure that they can give you a positive recommendation letter, because if it's not positive or like good enough, then you might not make it to the thing. And some other applications, not necessarily Erasmus Mundus, might also require you to require the recommenders to rate you. So like 1 to 5, 1 to 10, things of that nature. So you need to be really sure about who you want your recommenders to be, and they need to be able to talk about your personal, professional, and or leadership qualities, depending on what the application actually requires. For me, it was basically research exposure, and how I'm an independent researcher, my teaching abilities, my supervising capabilities. And so they both were able to talk about it. And I also I gave them bullet points of things that they could potentially mention if they feel like that's accurate part. And so yeah, so it's a back and forth conversation you have with them to let them know, remind them what other things you have done, and then just yeah, trust your mentors, trust your professors, and yeah, just trust them, and your recommendation letter should be good.
Yeah. By
And
the way,
this
this
is
is
the
the
last
last question.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So the last question for you is, can you walk me through the application process for the Erasmus Mundus?
I was actually expecting this question to be the first question because, well, it's a lengthy one, right?
Yeah.
By the way, it was all randomly chosen,
Yeah.
not planned. One thing I want to say is that Erasmus Mundus application differs from program to program, and so I can only talk about the programs I applied for. However, I have gone through the list of other programs, and I also help my friends a little bit with the applications as well, so I kind of know what is being expected. So one thing is just go through the program requirements that they have already posted on their websites, and then see what all is required. But basically, you would obviously need a bachelor's degree to start with, because this is a master's program, right? And then your English proficiency, like a TOEFL or IELTS, or sometimes you might be able to get away with a Duolingo test. But however, I did not provide any such, because I did my undergrad in the US, and even at YF right here, the whole course are taught in English as well. So we can request that certificate and then upload that. And apart from that, you might be required to do research statement, or like different kinds of unique essays that you would have to answer based on the program requirements, and or motivation letter, and SOPs, whatever, or even personal statements. We don't know what they might ask. It might differ from, like I said, program to program. And apart from that, you would what else might be there? Yeah, obviously your curriculum vitae, CV or resume, which is Europass, is what I used, and this is also what's been recommended by the Erasmus Mundus. So it's a website that you can just visit and then upload all the information there, and then choose a template you like, and then that should be it. So it's as simple as that. And these are the most common things that would be required as part of the application. Then you would have to provide your transcript for your undergrad, and if you've done any of the masters or any other diploma programs like we're doing right now, then you might be asked to submit a professional certificate of sort, and current residency, your passport, and your photograph, because, well, I don't know why, but photograph is required as part of many applications, even YAF. So there's that. I think these are the main things that I had to put up there. And again, it might vary depending on the program of your choice. What I did was I made an Excel sheet, like a master sheet, and I put down every single thing that's being required, and then I just kept on selecting, okay, is it done, is it uploaded or not, and so and so. And obviously you would also have the opportunity to upload other documents that you think would benefit your application or support your application in any way. So there's always a section for that. And then recommendation letter, 1 2, depending on the program once again. And finally, you might be asked to submit video materials and or other materials if your program requires such. Mine did not, but for theater and dance and or performing arts sort of scenario, you might be required. And if you're doing like marketing or something on that space, you might be asked to submit like a portfolio. So again, it just really depends on the program, and just go through the program list, and that's the process. And then once your submission is done, make sure you do it before the deadline. Once that's done, I think you'll hear back within a month, hopefully. Usually it shouldn't take too long, but again, it again varies depending on the program, the start date and everything. And so once you hear back, they will either reject you in the first round or they will ask for an interview if that is a part of your application. For mine, near data program, there was an interview, but I know that there are other people in the past and current as well who did not have to give an interview because their program had different requirements. Some of them had to audition of sort as part of the interview. So for them, it went on for like 1.5 hours or something. But for me, it was only 15 minutes at top, like max. And so yeah, so if you get an interview, if it's a part of it, then you can take the interview. And once interview is done, then I think it would take another month or maybe less than a month for them to get back to you with the results of the interview. Either get in or not. And if you get in full scholarship, they will let you know. But if you don't, there's also partially funded scholarships available, or fully self-funded, or they might put you on wait list if that's a scenario. But whatever it is, you'll hear back from them. And if you do not get in and you really think you deserve this position, then you should definitely consider appealing, which is another option that's available as well. So I would highly recommend that you guys appeal and then see how things goes from there. But yeah, it's the entire process.
So just one follow back.
Yeah.
In the documentation part,
Yeah.
you talked about like photograph and passport. Like apart from these documents, are there any other documentation required? Like in Indian like academic years, we need like tens of documents to upload. So for the Erasmus Mundus, are there any other documentation that someone have to like prepare before applying for Erasmus Mundus?
Not really. As far as I remember, there's not a lot of documents that's being required. It's basically your residential proof, the language proof, and then something to prove that you're an Indian citizen. Or if you hold dual citizenship, then there's also an option for that. But it's basically all these documents that are required, and there is no need to provide like your birth certificate or let's say your caste certificate or things of that nature, which is usually required when you do applications in India, right? Yeah, there is no such thing. You just have to provide proofs, and they will trust that whatever you submitted is real. Obviously, you have to produce the real documents when you get there, but yeah, they don't require a caste certificate and things of that nature. It's pretty simple and direct process. Yeah. I guess that brings us to the end of this YouTube video.
Yeah.
You wanna share something with the audience?
Yes, guys, this was like too much fun to like shooting this video for like future applications who want to like apply for Erasmus Mundus. As we know, I have my fellow scholar for Erasmus Mundus and my roommate, and it was really fun to shoot this video. I hope you would enjoy this video. Yeah, the video will be a bit lengthy, but I would say every single answer given by him will help you somewhere to like improve your application, make it strong, and fortunately you might get into Erasmus Mundus. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sahil, for recording the whole video. It was really fun to shoot with you. And thanks to all the people who said yes immediately when I asked them, do you want to ask me a couple of questions? They were like, yes, absolutely. And yeah, to all the people who were watching this video, watched the video, thank you so much for watching. And I hope that things really work out well for you. And yeah, it was a really lovely process. And yes, like he said, I provide mentorship, I provide research support, I'm a research advisor as well. And yeah, I helped over I think 50 students study abroad, mainly in the US, but person. I also do Canada and also Europe. And so, yeah, if you're interested in studying abroad, whether it be undergrad or masters or whatever, or any other postgraduate degrees of sort, reach out to me. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
That is
It was really lovely to work with you all. Now it's time to say goodbye. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye. Woo!